Hi, and thank you for joining me on another episode of the Tech Exec podcast, where we create world-class engineering teams and triple your impact per engineer. As always, I'm your host, Aviv Ben-Yosef, advisor and consultant to tech executives worldwide. And our subject today is growth cycles. Before we get to that, I'm reminding you once more I'm about to launch. If I haven't started even the launch in silent beta yet, I don't know. I'm recording this in advance of a new community for CTOs, CEOs, VPs of engineering to work together, learn from others, and it's going to be free for those of you already on my mailing list. So check it out. The link is in the show notes, and I'd love to see you there. I'd love to talk to you there. And what's better than starting this new year with a bunch of similarly minded people with other experience that can help you grow together? Now, on to the show. As the year starts, one of the things I love talking to my clients about is quickly assessing how their people have grown in the past year and how are you making sure that they're going to grow even faster in the next. Virtually every single executive I work with, as part of a questionnaire I do with them when we onboard, give themselves a pretty good ranking when it comes to how well they know how to coach their people. Everyone's an amazing coach, it seems. However, when I start asking detailed questions, that's where I find out that this coaching that they have in mind is quite different from what I have in mind when I say coaching. When you think you're a good coach, maybe you think back about a specific scenario where you handled things well. Maybe you give someone good advice. That's great. But really coaching people is about making them grow. And you, as an executive, have a huge role in making coaching something that's substantial in your organization, because what's more important than the people you have? And right now, in the current industry climate, every single person is a lot more important because you're not hiring people by the dozens. I'm guessing you're no longer doing that, just like I talked about in the previous podcast episode. And therefore now I want you to think back about the last year and consider, how have people grown? And you can do this at different levels. If you're managing managers, think about how have those managers that you're responsible for coaching directly, how they have grown. Are they noticeably better? Do you feel like you can give them more responsibility? Have they become more of a well-rounded character within your company? Do they understand the business better? Do they have better connections with peers in other departments? Do they handle, arguments better? That sort of stuff. And then think about your organization as a whole. Do you really believe that the ICs you've had in the company this year have grown? Are people who have been with you since the start are still learning, still getting better, or have they plateaued? And I call these growth cycles because I believe that you should have a plan for every single employee in your company about how those people are going to be growing. For every single person you manage directly, you should always, at every single point, have growth points for them. What are the goals for them when it comes to what they want to work on? What are they aspiring to? And these are things that you should renew at least once a quarter, sometimes every 2 months, for people who are very keen and quick to implement and execute on feedback. And these growth cycles that you should be kicking off new ones right now with the new year are a sort of a heartbeat that ensures that people keep growing and getting better. And we're not talking about, becoming twice as good in something within 2 months. That's not what we're aiming for if you have good people. Junior people can really grow rapidly, but more senior people can still grow. Just that their growth is small doesn't mean it's not worth it. If you take your top star and make them 1% better, that 1% is, even if it's only a single percent, it's a percent from a sizable amount, right? So it matters. And if you get 1% of improvement every 2 to 3 months across your entire team, that stacks up really fast. That can make a huge difference. That's part of what determines whether, as your company grows, it becomes a cesspool of averageness or an amazing team. So start thinking about the growth cycles for every one of your direct reports. And once you have that, and if you haven't had that, by the way, I want you to be honest with yourself about what have you been missing. Have you been giving them the right feedback? But that's aside for a second. I'm digressing. Once you have those growth cycles with each and every single one of your direct reports, they have their goals. They know it. It's something that both of you should be aware of. You decide about something. You ask them about it every one-on-one. You give them tools. That's where you know how to direct your coaching where it matters the most, because you can focus on what they want to grow in. Ensure that your directors, for example, do the same with each and every one of their managers, and ensure that those managers in turn do the same with each and every individual contributor. By doing that, you establish a system that actively improves everyone in your organization constantly. And that's amazing for the organization, but it's also amazing for the people. I have seen it with my own eyes, how people all of a sudden feel like they are seen and they feel like a sense of accomplishment. If you listen back to the previous episode, I talked about the need to help people get a sense of achievement without aspiring to have a team under them within 6 months because you're no longer in hypergrowth. They need something else to drive them. Working on yourself, seeing the results, having your manager every 2 to 3 months tell you, I think you made good progress in this, let's find other goals, or provide you with candid feedback along the way, showing you why you're still not there, helping you get there. That shows people that they are seen, the company cares about them, and they can have a sense of challenge. It's like gamification, but in a good way. Really, that's what I believe, and you should be doing that. Establishing these growth cycles across your organization is a quick win and should be part of your management 101 within your company. Start doing it right now. And if you have any questions about doing these, why not ask in the community I'm launching or have launched? Again, link in the show notes. I'll love to see you there. And of course, when you sign up, you're going to get my newsletter. So a lot of wins for you, all for free. That's it for this week. Thank you for joining me. Talk soon.